Hello everyone! Welcome back to another Workbench tutorial. Last time we showed you how to create a cBase from an existing text file. And now we're going to learn how to control access to the cBase. With access controls, you can ensure that the right information is always in the right hands. Here to explain is Alyssa Mintz from our education department. Alyssa, the digital floor is yours.
In this demonstration, you'll learn how to control access to specific columns and rows in a cBase. Let's say you're a wine and beverage distributor and you have a sales cBase that includes data on the numbers of bottles and cases sold, cost, and total sales. In addition, let's say your sales force is organized into 3 groups: Team Alpha, Team Delta, and Team Omega. You want all 3 groups to have access to the sales cBase and to see all the columns in that cBase except for the cost column, which exposes some sensitive financial information. To prevent the members of each group from seeing the cost column, we'll change the access control settings for that column so that only the manager can see that column. In addition, you want each member of each group to see the rows that contain data for their group only, and not the data for any other group. For example, you want Team Alpha to see rows containing data for Team Alpha, but not rows that contain data for Team Delta and Team Omega. To prevent each group from seeing any data but their own, we'll set it up so that when a group member dives on a dimension, the only dimension value that will be visible for them is the one connected to their group. Note that this demo presumes that you've already created groups Team Alpha, Team Delta, and Team Omega, and that each user in each group has been given read access to the project. The demo also presumes you've created a user account called Manager and given Manager read access to the project also. We'll start with the first set of changes, hiding the cost column from all the sales personnel. To do this, we'll first restrict access to the column for all users, and then selectively restore access to that column to the manager. We'll start by right-clicking the name of the project, Beverage Distributor, and selecting Edit Access Control. An overview of the current access control settings for Project Beverage Distributor appears on the screen in a new tab. Next, we'll select cBase Access. Information on the existing cBase access controls appears on the screen. To make it easier to see the different areas of this part of the screen, we'll hide the Workbench Explorer window temporarily. The column-based rules section of the screen is where we'll specify that the cost column be hidden from everyone but the manager. We'll begin this process by adding the cost column to the list of columns restricted for all users. The software automatically searches the cBase in our cBases folder and displays a list of all the columns in the cBase. We'll scroll down to the cost column and put a check mark next to it to indicate we want it hidden from everyone. Now we need to grant access to the only user who should have access to this column, the manager. We'll begin by clicking the plus sign above the Allow Columns box. In the condition column, we'll specify the type of entity, in this case user, for which we're making access changes. In the condition details column, we'll select User Manager. In the Columns column, we'll type the name of the column we want User Manager to regain access to, the Cost column. Next, we'll specify that group members can access row data pertaining to their group only. We'll do this in the row-based rules section of the screen. We need to create 3 entries here, one for each group. We'll begin creating the first entry by clicking the plus sign above the row-based rules box. In the condition column, we'll choose Group. In the Condition Details column, we'll select Group Team Alpha. In the Limit Type column, we'll select Limit by Values because we want to use values in a dimension, here the Sales Team dimension, to specify what Team Alpha can access. Next, we'll specify the Sales Team dimension next to column and the dimension value Team Alpha so that when a Team Alpha member dives on any dimension in the cBase, ProDiver displays data that pertains to Team Alpha only and no other group. Now we'll add entries for Team Delta and Team Omega. Finally, we'll save our changes. Now, when a Team Alpha member, for example, starts ProDiver and opens the cBase and dives on any dimension, neither the cost column nor the data for any other group will be visible. So that's how you control access to specific columns and rows in a cBase. If you're controlling access to a column, you right-click the name of the project and select Edit Access Control, select cBase Access, restrict access to the column by clicking Add Columns, specifying the column and saving your changes, allow access to the column by clicking the plus sign in the column-based rules section and specifying the user or group to which you want to restore access, and the name of the column you want them to have access to, and select File Save. If you're controlling access to a row, you follow a similar procedure, but click the plus sign in the row-based rules section. Specify the type of entity, user group, and so on, to which you're granting the row access. Specify the name of the user or group. Specify Limit by Values as the limit type. Select a dimension, and enter the dimension value that you want to make diveable for that user or group only, and select File Save.
Thanks, Alyssa. Well, that's a wrap. If this video was helpful, please show your appreciation by giving us a like. And if there's a subject you would like us to do an episode on, let us know in the comments. Take care. See you next time.